Hello students, hope you all are fine, you are doing good. In our today's class in heat, we shall discuss some topics like evaporation, melting and freezing. We shall discuss these three topics in today's class. Okay, before going to this, you know that the water from the clothes, okay, they escape out, and when you wash the floor, when you wash the house, the floor after some time, within few minutes it gets completely dry. All this is because of evaporation. Now let us to understand evaporation, let us discuss some activities. What you do is take 1 ml of spirit in 2 different petri dishes. Keep one petri dish under the fan and keep another petri dish with a lid over it. Now, this is kept under the fan. This petri dish is kept under the fan. This is kept, the other petri dish is lidded. Now, after some time, you will observe that the spirit in the petri dish 1 will evaporate completely, whereas you will find some spirit in the petri dish 2 which is lidded. You will still find some spirit in the petri dish 2. Now, what is happening? How the particles are escaping out? Let us discuss. Now, if you take the petri dish, the molecules of the spirit will be in random motion. Now, because they are in motion, what happens is the particles which are at surface, if they are collided with the particles inside, so this gain energy and they escape out. Sometimes what happens is, as they escape out, they might be collided with the air particles and even they come back, because of which they come back. Now, if the number of particles that are escaping is more than the number of particles that are coming inside, then the evaporation takes place. Evaporation is a cooling process and it is the surface phenomenon in which the particles at the top of the surface escape out. So, this process is called evaporation. Let me repeat once again. The particles on the surface of the liquid, if they receive an energy from inside, if they are collided with the particles from inside, what happens is they escape out. When they escape out, there is every chance that they are hit by the air molecules. So, there is a chance of returning to there is every chance of these particles returning back to the liquid, or these particles escape out. So, if the particles that are escaping is more than the particles that are returning, then the evaporation takes place. Now, as we have discussed that evaporation is a surface phenomenon, it depends upon the surface area of the liquid, and it depends upon humidity. It also depends upon wind speed. Now, to understand that the evaporation depends upon the surface area, what we shall do is, we shall take 5 ml of water each in a test tube and china dish separately, and keep them under a fan. Take 5 ml of water kept in china dish and keep it in the cupboard. Okay, you are taking test tubes, here So let us see what he is taking. 5 ml of water each in a test tube and in a China dish separately, and keep them under the fan. One you are taking 5 ml of water in the test tube, you are taking 5 ml of water in the petri dish. Take 5 ml of water in another China dish and keep it in the cupboard. So one more China dish you are taking and you are keeping it in the cupboard. Record the room temperature and time taken for the evaporations. Okay. One test tube, you are taking one test tube and 2 China dishes. So in each of this you are adding 5 ml of water. These two you kept it under the fan. One is kept in the cupboard. In which case do you think that the evaporation will be faster? Obviously in the China dish that is kept under the fan, you find more evaporation because the surface area is more. So this shows that the evaporation depends upon the surface area. If the surface area is more evaporation takes place. If the surface area is less evaporation takes place. Okay, that is because if surface area is more, there is more space for the particles to escape. So that is the reason why evaporation depends upon the surface area of the liquid. Next is the humidity. Humidity is nothing but it is the amount of water vapor present in the air. If the amount of water vapor present in the air is more, that is humidity is more, there is less chance of evaporation. This is because already the air particles are full with the water particles. So there is less chance of these water particles to fit in the atmosphere. This is why the rate of evaporation is less on a humid climate, and that is the reason why the clothes do not get dried easily when the temperature is humid. Next is about the wind speed. When the wind speed is more, the particles that escape out will move away from the place of evaporation, giving them very less chance to return back to the container. So as the wind speed increases, what happens is the evaporation also increases. So that is about the relationship between wind speed and evaporation. That is when you see the clothes get dried faster on a windy day. So that is about the evaporation. It is a surface phenomenon and it is a cooling process. Next we shall discuss about melting. What is this melting and freezing? Now take a beaker containing ice, introduce a thermometer in it. Now what happens, and start heating. What happens here? As you increase the temperature of this, the ice which is at below 0 degrees or ice which is below the 0 degrees comes to 0 degrees. At 0 degrees it stops, the temperature stops rising. That is because whatever heat we are supplying to the ice, that is used for breaking the bonds between the water molecules. That is, here the internal energy of we are increasing the internal energy of the ice blocks. So when the internal energy of this increases, what happens is the ice starts melting. This is called as fusion. Now the temperature of the ice remains 0 degrees till all the ice becomes water. So this 0 degrees or 273 Kelvin, this is called melting point of ice. This is called melting point of ice. Melting is a phenomenon in which the temperature of the interior system rises. It is a warming process. Now we have something called as latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion is nothing but it is the amount of heat energy required to convert 1 gram of solid into 1 gram of liquid at constant temperature. Constant temperature. That is, L is equal to the amount of heat energy required to convert 1 gram of water completely into liquid. That is called as latent heat of fusion. So this is about the melting process. Next we have something called as freezing, that we shall discuss in the next class.